Welcome to my skincare video. I literally just threw out my whole old skincare and started again. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Nina, I'm 27 years old and I live in Perth, Western Australia. And today I thought I would talk about my skin. As you can tell, I'm not wearing any makeup today like I normally do for videos. Sometimes I don't, but most of the time I do. And I probably picked the worst day to film this video because last night I went to bed so freaking late and I have a lot of dark circles under my eyes. The reason that I'm not wearing any makeup today is because I thought I would tell you guys a little bit about my skincare and my skincare journey, which is nowhere near finished, by the way. I started a book 3 days ago called Fourth Wing that's kind of really popular right now. Sorry, this is the first time I've spoken this morning, so I'm still kind of croaky. Yeah, I read it in 3 days, and the first 2 nights I stayed up till 1 a.m. reading it, and then last night I was 100 pages out from finishing it, so I stayed up till 2:30 to finish it, and God, it was so worth it. It was so worth it. This freaking book, I swear, it's one of the best books I've ever read in my life. And yesterday at 7 p.m. I went out to get the second one so that I'd have it first thing this morning to start. I'll get it, hang on one second. This is it here, Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. And oh my gosh, this book is amazing. It's 500 pages long, but I just couldn't put it down. I literally couldn't put it down for 3 straight days. So I picked up the second one last night so that I can start it first thing this morning. But before I'm allowed to start this, I had to film this video, and I was determined to do that because if I open this book, I will not close it for the next probably 3-4 days. It's quite a bit longer than this one, so. I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about my skincare and my skincare journey. I'm nowhere near an expert on skincare whatsoever, and I've had not a bad journey, but not a great journey with my skin either. And I'm still working on it also, as you can tell. And I just thought I'd talk to you guys about it a little bit because it's something that is actively happening in my life right now. And I thought there might be some people who might also struggle with their skin or might be interested to see what products I'm using. I'm going to put these books away because otherwise I'm just going to probably forget that I'm filming and pick one up. So, one sec. I'm 27 years old, which means that I grew up in the time period where no one really talked much about skincare. There was no skincare boom. There wasn't a crazy amount of products out there. And it wasn't a super big focus on taking care of your skin and what you should be doing. So when I grew up, I was born in 1997. So when I was a teenager, it was between 2010, 2000, I turned 18 in 2015. So yeah, 2009 and 2015. I think skincare was starting to kind of come in, but I didn't really know much about it. No one really talked about it that much where I was. And so there was definitely times when I was a teenager where I would go to sleep with makeup on. I tried not to, but I was tired. I certainly didn't moisturize, which I know was definitely around when I was growing up. I was just too lazy to do it. I didn't cleanse properly when I did take my makeup off. I used to use makeup wipes, which is horrible. I didn't use toners, I didn't use serums, I didn't use anything on my skin at all. About maybe 3-4 years ago, which is way past the skincare boom, by the way. I just didn't catch on early enough. I was kind of getting sick of my skin. How old was I 4 years ago? 23, 24 years old. And I was I'm getting so many pimples. And I didn't get pimples in high school. From what I can remember, I had good skin in high school. I didn't have acne, I didn't have pimples. So these pimples were starting to come in my 20s, my early 20s. And I was what the heck? I thought pimples was only for teenagers. Why am I getting so much acne? It was horrible through uni. I had started to develop very high anxiety during that time as well. So I don't think the anxiety helped the situation either. About 3 or 4 years ago, I was sick of it, so done with it. So I was I need to do something. Everyone's talking about skincare. It's very, very confusing out there when it comes to skincare. I'm still pretty confused. Actually, no, I'm still very confused when it comes to skincare. I literally just 3 or 4 years ago went in my bathroom and found any products I had lying around that I had bought randomly and just threw them on my face, which I don't recommend doing. Definitely do some research before doing that. I was so desperate. It was one night that I was so desperate. My skin was so horrible, so red. and so blotchy everywhere. It was ridiculous. So I had a Simple moisturizer. So I'll put a picture on the screen of what that is. And Simple, I feel like, I always thought it was a great brand. I think it's still, I think it is a great brand. But it's definitely like drugstore pricing. So it's cheap. Like it's not, compared to like other skincare and other moisturizers, it's definitely on the cheaper scale, which is not a bad thing. And also why I went for it, because I was like, I'm not spending hundreds of dollars on skincare. That's ridiculous. So Simple, I liked the name, it sounded simple, and I used to use the rich one to start with, but then I switched to the light one because of probably something that I read online that wasn't correct for me, where I needed a lighter moisturizer to not break out more. I don't know. I'm not an expert in this kind of stuff. I'm just going to tell you guys what I was using, what I'm using now, and kind of the effects that it's had. So I was using the Simple moisturizer, and I randomly had these two toners in my bathroom. These were the two toners that I had. They are from the brand Sukin. I think that's how you say it, S-K-I-N. And this one here is a pore perfecting toner, and this one is an original hydrating mist toner, which actually did come with a spray bottle cap, but I didn't like it, so I switched it out. And these are great, and I still really like these. I chucked some moisturizer on my face. I chucked these on my face, and then I did a little bit of research into a cleanser, and I found one that sounded good, and it was the Cetaphil Gentle Skin Cleanser, which I still like, still a really good cleanser, but again, like very low end in terms of price, which is great. I think I get a 1 litre bottle for like $20. So really good in terms of price. And I was using these for the last 2 or 3 years, and I found them great. But at the end of the day, at the back of my mind, I was like, I don't even know if this is the right thing my skin needs. I just know that they helped. So when I initially used them, they helped a lot to reduce redness, helped with the pimples, but it still wasn't amazing. And I just felt like I was doing something to my skin. So it felt better than doing nothing. Because the results were something compared to nothing, because literally, remember, I'm not switching from one product to another, I'm switching from nothing to using something. There were results that were good, and I was like, oh, okay, great, this is doing good. It's not perfect, I'm still getting a lot of pimples, but it's doing something more than it was before. Something that I've always struggled with is unconsciously touching my face, like while I'm watching TV, while I'm on my phone, while I'm doing anything, feeling for spots. And I was kind of unable to leave pimples alone. I'm being really honest here, and I don't tell many people that because it's really embarrassing, but this is me being a little bit vulnerable. Yeah, I just always have an issue with subconsciously touching my face. Even now, my boyfriend's like, will look over at me and he's like, stop touching your face, because he knows that I'm not supposed to be. Obviously that doesn't help. Getting different bacteria on your skin from your hands really doesn't help. So about a year ago, I actively tried to stop touching my face, stop touching my pimples, just leave it alone and just let the products that I was using do its thing. But it wasn't making much of a difference to my skin. I was still getting a lot of pimples, and the last 6 months have just been so bad with my skin. I pretty much constantly had a pimple on this side, if not multiple, and on this side of my nose, and on my forehead around this area, sometimes higher up. Like I pretty much constantly had a handful of pimples, especially in some particular spots where they just refuse to go away. Like I'd be having one healing and another one would pop up right next to it. And it was so frustrating. I was like, this is ridiculous. It's just getting worse. About 2-3 weeks ago, I decided I need to actually sort out my skin. I'm 27 years old. This shouldn't be happening anymore. I need to actively be doing something to make sure my skin is getting what it actually needs. So I actually got a recommendation from a friend to a woman that does facials not too far from me, about a 15 or even a 10-minute drive from me. And she came highly recommended. She works from home, and it was just her in the business. I booked an appointment about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I've never done anything like this before. I've never done a facial, never done anything with my skin. I've never done a face mask before, nothing like this at all. So I was really nervous because I felt like an amateur and I didn't know what I was talking about in terms of anything. Like I thought she was going to be asking me like, do you want this treatment? Do you want that treatment? And I didn't know what any of it was. But when I got there, she was so lovely. She was so nice. She asked me, have you had any experience with any of this stuff? I said no. She asked me what products I was using. And then she explained to me a couple of options that we could do on the day. and I ended up having a really nice facial. Could not tell you at all what she did. Actually, I know one thing that she did. She did use LED lights. So I did have an LED light treatment, and then she used a bunch of face masks and serums and really nice stuff. It was really relaxing, and my skin was so nice afterwards. But then she also went through with me like products that I should be using and to strip back and pretty much get rid of everything that I had been using. So she said the stuff that I had been using were great for non-problematic skin, but not for my skin because I needed something stronger. I needed more for my skin. It just needed more than the simple off-the-shelf cheap kind of products that work for non-problematic skin. So while I'm not like saying that those products that I was using were bad, because I feel like they are still really good products, and I think when my skin is finally settled and I'm not having breakouts anymore, I could even start incorporating them back into my routine. But she just said it's not what you need right now, let's switch you up. She recommended one particular brand, but it was a very expensive brand, and she gave me a couple of samples of them that I could use. So literally just a cleanser, a exfoliator, and a moisturizer. She just gave me these little samples. I took them home and started using them, and they were great, but then when I looked into the prices of them, they were really expensive, like top of the range kind of stuff. And I thought, okay, what can I do here where I can still have good skin but save my bank account? So I started to do a lot of research into the ingredients that were in the products, the specific ingredients that were what she told me I needed. So for example, salicylic acid was something that she said I need to use, and hydrochloric acid, I think that's what it's called. Hyaluronic acid. Yeah, so she said focus on hyaluronic acid and salicylic acid. The main issues that I was having with my skin was the breakouts and pimples, but it was also I was getting some wrinkles on my forehead. And before I say any more, there is absolutely nothing wrong with having wrinkles. I try and tell myself, and I even try and tell my mum, that if you get wrinkles, it means that you are lucky enough to have reached an age where you get wrinkles. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't get to do that. So I try and remind myself whenever I see my wrinkles that it's part of life and it's natural. But at the same token, I also kind of felt like I'm getting these wrinkles because my skin's not hydrated enough. I did a bit of research, hunted down products that had these ingredients in them, and I went to Sephora to see what I could find. And I didn't really have, there was only one product I had in mind that I definitely wanted to try. I didn't know what cleanser to go for, and I didn't know what moisturizer to go for. And honestly, going there and looking at the sizes of the bottles and the prices, I was like, oh my gosh, like the cleansers were like 100 to 200 mil or 100 and 150 mil, and they were 3-4 times the price of my 1 litre cleanser. So it was like kind of breaking my heart, but at the same time I was like, no, I need to do this. Like I need to take care of my skin properly. And I just want to preface by saying none of the products in this video are sponsored. I really wish they were, because I'm really liking a lot of them. Starting with the cleanser, when I got to Sephora, they introduced me to a brand called Skinfix, and I hadn't come across it in any of my research, which kind of made me a bit hesitant about it. The way that the staff, like a couple of staff members, were raving about this brand, and looking at the ingredients, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a go. So this is a cleanser that they recommended. It's the Skinfix Barrier Plus Gentle Gel Cleanser, and it says Barrier Restorative Gel to Foam Wash. Now, something that the girl that did my facial told me was that my barrier was just destroyed. I was also getting extremely oily skin because my skin wasn't being exfoliated properly, and it was producing extra oil, and that was what was clogging my pores. She said that I need to break down my barrier, which is what she did, and restore it with proper products. And she also said that a foam cleanser was the way to go. The Cetaphil cleanser that I was using was not a foaming cleanser, it was just like a milky one. I just feel like with foaming, I've never used a foaming cleanser before, and I just feel like it gets into my pores properly, and I really like it. Like I said, it's 150 ml. It's a very small bottle compared to the 1 litre that I was using. Number 2 is the toner. This is the product and brand that I really wanted to try out, and I heard a lot about online that was really good, and it's called Paula's Choice. It's an exfoliating toner, It's got salicylic acid. This is it here. Again, a very small bottle and not cheap either. This is 118 ml and it was the biggest bottle they have. But it says on the instructions to start off by using it every other day and then move to using it once or twice a day. The first week I used this, I used it every other day, and now I've been using it once a day. I kind of don't want to move up from that. I'm good with having it just once a day. But since using this, or maybe it's just a combination of everything I'm currently using, I've not gotten greasy. Like, I don't get like overly greasy at all, but I've still got a really nice shine to my skin. I just love the shine that these products give me. It gives you a really nice like glow. It shrinks, like it says on here, unclogs and shrinks enlarged pores. I feel like it's done that. The pores that I had on my like T section were so big. I've been loving using it. At first when I used it, the smell is, I don't know, to me it kind of smells like paint. I'm not gonna lie, like when I first opened it, I was like, this smells quite chemically. I don't know, but I only use it once a day and I use it at night because it does say for daytime follow with a sun cream. That makes me think that it makes you more sensitive to UV, and living in Australia with extreme UV, especially in the summer right now, I'd rather just use it at nighttime to reduce that. But yeah, I've been loving this a lot. Even though I don't love the smell, I love using it. And then the last step that I do is the Skin Fix. So again, that Skin Fix brand, Barrier Plus Skin Barrier Restoring Gel Cream. And this is the moisturizer that I use. I was kind of confused at the store when I saw this because I was like, wait, so is this a moisturizer? Because it says gel cream. And I was asking the staff, like, do I still need to use a moisturizer? And they're like, no, this is highly moisturizing. And this is the stuff I think that's giving me this amazing glow. I love this product. And something that I'm really liking about this brand in particular is the packaging. This cleanser, you just twist this, it clicks a couple times, and you open it, like you squeeze some out from this opening here. And I really like that because I feel like it's just really easy to use and it kind of stops like any bacteria getting into the cleanser itself. And then the moisturizer is the same. I love this kind of packaging. It's got, you can unscrew it completely and see all the cream inside, but it's got this pump. So you just press down on this white bit and a bunch will pump out, and you just use it off the top so that no bacteria is getting inside. I don't know if you can see that. But the combination of all three of these has been so good. Now, oh Jesus. Now I will say, it's been 2 and a bit weeks and I was kind of hoping for better results than I'm getting. I guess I'm kind of asking for a miracle maybe. While my skin is so nice and glowy and my pores are reduced, I am still getting pimples, as you can see. We'll get nice and close, shall we? Should we get nice and close and personal? So as you can see, I'm still getting pimples on my forehead. I still occasionally get them on the sides of my nose and on my nose and down here as well. I've had a few pimples. But what I've noticed is most of them are a lot smaller, and as soon as I chuck this on it, they just shrink even more. This one here on my forehead is kind of a whopper. Most of the time they're a lot smaller, and I'm really, really happy about that. And it has only been 2 and a bit weeks. So I'm going to give it a decent amount of time. I do want to mention that these 2 toners that I showed you guys earlier, the Suckin brand, I think that's how you say it, Suckin, I still use. When I was first using the Skin Fix and the Paula's Choice products, I had a couple of days in the first week where my skin was really dry. So I was like, I think it just needs a little bit extra moisture or a little bit extra hydration. And this Original Mist Toner, it's really simple this. It literally just has water, rose water, glycerin, and chamomile in it, pretty much. That's pretty much the main ingredients. So they're very natural ingredients, and they just give me a little bit of a boost. They're not enough to hydrate my skin without anything else, but it just gives me a little bit more of a hydration. So I have incorporated this back into my twice a day before putting the moisturizer on, and I found that my skin hasn't gotten dry since I've been using this. This one here, what I really liked about using this, the years that I've been using it, the Pore Perfecting Toner, is that whenever I had a really red spot, if I'd picked at a spot, I would just chuck some of this on it and the redness would just reduce a lot. This has tea tree oil in it, and tea tree oil is again another natural ingredient that fights bacteria. While it's not enough, like I said, to completely restore my barrier and fix my skin, it just helps to kill bacteria from a pimple and reduce the redness a lot. While I don't use it every day, I've still been really liking using it when I need it. The biggest differences that I've noticed with my skin since using these products is number one, I'm not getting crazy greasy like I was before. I found that within an hour or two of the day, I was so oily on my skin and it just wasn't natural. My skin is so much softer. Like that moisturizer, seriously, I love this stuff so much. It's made my skin so soft and so nice to touch, even though I shouldn't be touching my skin. And it's just given that glow without the oil that shouldn't be there. And it's also reduced my wrinkles a lot. So as you can see on my forehead, I've just done my skincare maybe an hour ago and it just looks so much glowier and nicer. If you guys want another update in a few weeks' time to let you know how I'm going, please let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this video, if you're interested in any of this kind of stuff. I'm learning and I thought I would take you guys along with me on the journey just a little bit to talk about what I'm learning and what I'm doing. And all of this might change in a month. If these products aren't working for me and I'm still not getting the results I want, I might add something, I might take something away. So if you guys are interested in knowing what I do, please let me know in the comments. I do want to also mention that since using these products and sorting out my skin a little bit, my confidence has gone up so much. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've wanted to film a video, but I've had horrible skin and I've just not. And I know that I shouldn't let it stop me, and you know, everyone struggles with skin at some point in their life, but my confidence was shot, especially in the last 6 months. I just had shocking skin. My acne was horrible. It's just crazy what that can do to your confidence because it's on your face and it's the first thing that everyone sees. And there's always that need on social media to look perfect and to have glowy, beautiful skin. And I know I've just talked about how beautiful and glowing my skin is right now, but I still have issues. I still have the pimples. This is my natural skin. I have dark circles under my eyes from staying up too late. That's living life as well. Getting wrinkles is a part of life, and there is worry in life, there's stress in life, there's also laughter in life that can cause wrinkles. And I feel like even though I'm fighting against the stuff that is kind of natural, I do try to remind myself and others that it's okay to have these things, because having perfect flawless skin is more unnatural than having imperfect skin. I just feel. That's my 2 cents on that. Don't stress about comparing yourself to other people online, even though I do that every single day. And just as long as you're healthy and taking care of yourself how you should be, then you're doing great. So I'm going to end this video here. If you liked this video and want to see more of stuff like this, please like and give it a comment. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I'm going to wrap this up and pick up the next book that I want to read because I'm desperately wanting to read it right now. But I'll see you guys in the next one, and thank you all so much for your support. It's really appreciated. Popcorn's been wanting my attention this whole time. Do you want to see him? Say hi, Popcorn. Hello. Hello.